In a United States that is often described by the bright lights of famous cities, there are still places that are beautiful in a very different way: quiet, natural, and almost outside of all display. Oregon, Maine, Arkansas, and West Virginia are names that rarely appear on glamorous rankings, but they carry a kind of beauty that makes people slow down and listen. These are misty coastlines where the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean meet wild nature: long, deep green mountain ranges, ancient forests, and valleys where time seems to move more slowly. Without needing noise to impress anyone, these states win people's hearts with a feeling of peace, honesty, and something very American. It is a simple, deep, and quiet America, beautiful in a way that stays in your memory long after you leave. In the northwest of the United States, the big ocean touches the tall mountains, and there is a land that surprises everyone with its wild and lively beauty. This land is Oregon. This state is not loud and not showy, but it has a special charm. It is a place where nature and people live together, where freedom and creativity are important, and where every view tells its own story. Oregon is not only a place for people who love nature. It is also a place for people who want peace and new inspiration in the modern world. Located in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon is surrounded by Washington in the north, California and Nevada in the south, Idaho in the east, and the Pacific Ocean in the west. The land here has many different types of nature that are hard to believe. From the Oregon coast, which is more than 580 kilometers long with cliffs and wild beaches, to the tall Cascade Range mountains that divide the state, and the dry, high plains in the east that stretch to the horizon. Each area in the state is like its own world, with different colors and weather. The west is wet and green all year, where soft rain falls through old pine forests, and the east is a world of sunshine, wind, and sand, where mountains and dry grasslands create a wild beauty. Salem is the capital and political center of the state. But Portland, the biggest city, is the heart of Oregon, where culture, art, and creative spirit meet. Portland, the biggest city in Oregon, is a place of creativity, art, and a green lifestyle. It is not loud like New York or San Francisco, but Portland has its own charm, free, simple, and full of personality. When you walk on the streets covered with trees, you will see many small coffee shops, bakeries, bookstores, and food trucks. The Portland International Rose Garden is a famous symbol, where tens of thousands of roses bloom every summer. Next to it is the Portland Japanese Garden, one of the most beautiful Japanese gardens outside Asia, giving a very peaceful space. If you love books, Powell's City of Books, the largest independent bookstore in the world, will make you very happy. Portland is also famous for its bike culture, music festivals, and environmental protection spirit, showing the free and unique character of the people of Oregon. Located in southern Oregon, Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States and one of the most beautiful natural wonders in the world. Formed in the crater of Mount Mazama, which stopped erupting thousands of years ago, the lake has a special deep blue color and water so clear that it reflects the sky. In summer, visitors can drive on Rim Drive around the lake to enjoy the full view, or take a boat to Wizard Island in the middle of the water. In winter, white snow covers the lake and creates a magical scene like a fairy tale. Crater Lake is not only beautiful, but also a symbol of peace and purity, a blue jewel in the heart of Oregon. If you love the sea, Cannon Beach is a place you cannot miss. The soft sand is long, the waves make a gentle sound, and the most famous thing here is Haystack Rock, a huge basalt rock almost 70 meters tall, standing in the ocean. When the sun goes down, the light shines on the rock and creates a beautiful and unforgettable scene. Cannon Beach is not only a place to see the ocean, but also a great place to relax, with beach cafes, art galleries, and yearly festivals. It is also one of the beaches that National Geographic named as one of the most beautiful in the world. Less than 2 hours from Portland, the Columbia River Gorge is a paradise for people who love nature. This canyon was made by the Columbia River cutting through the Cascade Mountains, creating a powerful view with hundreds of waterfalls falling from high cliffs. The most famous waterfall is Multnomah Falls, a two-level waterfall almost 190 meters tall, where white water falls past an old stone bridge. In autumn, the whole area turns bright yellow and red with maple leaves, making a beautiful scene that visitors cannot stop looking at. Mount Hood is the highest mountain in the state, more than 3,400 meters tall, and it is a place for adventure lovers all year. In winter, the mountain becomes a paradise for skiing. In summer, the trails around the mountain invite hikers and photographers. On the mountain, there is Timberline Lodge, a famous historic building that was in the classic movie, The Shining. Whether you see it from far away or stand at the bottom, Mount Hood always shows a strong and peaceful beauty, like a forever symbol of Oregon. Located in Central Oregon, Bend is a paradise for people who love outdoor sports. This place is surrounded by mountains, rivers, and desert, and you can go boating, hiking, skiing, or mountain biking all in the same day. Bend is also the center of craft beer culture, with many local breweries. The Bend Ale Trail lets visitors try many unique beers, from light to strong, showing the creative spirit of Oregon. Eugene is located in the green Willamette Valley and is a center of culture, education, and art in the state. It is the home of the University of Oregon, one of the top universities in the United States, and it is also the place where the Nike brand began. The city has a calm lifestyle, with colorful farmers markets, green parks, street music festivals, and a lively artist community. Eugene shows the sustainable and environmentally friendly way of living that the people of Oregon are very proud of. The Willamette Valley is located between the Coast Mountains and the Cascade Mountains, and it is known as the best place in the United States for making Pinot Noir wine. Hundreds of green vineyards stand next to each other, creating a peaceful and romantic view. Visitors can join tours to visit wine cellars, taste red wine and white wine, and learn about the special way Oregon makes wine. When the sun goes down, the light turns the vineyards golden, leaving visitors with a calm and beautiful feeling. What makes Oregon more special than any other place is the spirit of freedom and creativity in everyday life. It is one of the first states to protect the environment, develop clean energy, and live green. Oregon also has no sales tax, which makes visitors very happy when they go shopping. But more important than that is the way people live here. Simple, friendly, and always respectful of differences. They love nature, care about the land, and always try to live in harmony with the environment. Oregon's culture is a mix of art, music, and a free spirit. Festivals happen all year, from the Rose Festival in Portland, the Craft Beer Festival in Bend, to the Oregon Country Fair in Eugene, and all of them show the open, creative, and energetic character of the people here. People here do not like to show off. They find happiness in simple things: a cup of craft coffee, a weekend picnic, or an evening listening to live music in a small cafe. This simple way of life makes Oregon a place where many people want to stay for their whole life. Oregon does not try to impress, but its honesty, simplicity, and natural beauty make people fall in love with it. This is a place for dreamers, for free spirits, and for people who love adventure and never want to stop exploring. Whether you come here to explore the mountains, relax by the ocean, or simply breathe fresh air, Oregon always finds a way to touch your heart. And when you leave this land, you will see that Oregon is not only on the map of the United States, but also in your heart, because it keeps memories of a land of freedom, creativity, endless nature, and kind people. Oregon shows that there are still places in the world where people and nature can live together with respect and harmony. It is a place beautiful not only in its scenery, but also in its way of life. Maine, the gem in the far northeast of the United States, is the first place to welcome the sunrise in America. It is not noisy like New York or luxurious like California, but Maine quietly shines with its wild, simple, and peaceful beauty. This is the land where the sea, the pine forests, and the mountains come together to create a picture of nature full of feelings. Every morning, when the sun rises from the Atlantic Ocean, the light paints the old lighthouses in gold and reflects on the cold, clear water, a scene that makes every heart stop for a moment. Maine is the place where people can find rare peace, where nature still keeps its wild and gentle soul, as it was hundreds of years ago. Located in the northeastern corner of New England, Maine is surrounded by the beauty of the sea, forests, and mountains. The state borders Canada to the north and east, New Hampshire to the west, and opens to the deep blue Atlantic Ocean in the south. With an area of more than 91,000 square kilometers and over 5,500 kilometers of coastline, Maine is considered one of the states with the most complex and spectacular coastlines in the United States. Every steep cliff, every white lighthouse standing alone in the sea wind, and every small fishing village nestled by the bay create a unique and unmistakable charm. More than 80% of the state is covered by pine forests, which is why Maine is also called the Pine Tree State. The climate here is typical of the oceanic temperate zone, with 4 distinct seasons: cool summers, colorful autumns, snowy winters, and springs when nature comes back to life. At any time of the year, Maine has its own beauty, sometimes bright and lively, sometimes quiet and calm, but always honest and natural. If you have to choose one place that shows the full soul of Maine, it would surely be Acadia National Park, the first national park in the northeastern United States. Located on Mount Desert Island, Acadia is a perfect combination of mountains, forests, and the sea, where nature wears a coat that is both majestic and poetic. Cadillac Mountain, nearly 470 meters high, is the highest point along the Atlantic coast of the United States. In the early morning, this is the first place in the country to welcome the sunrise. The moment when the sun slowly rises through the light mist, coloring the sea and pine forests in soft pink. In addition, the park has more than 200 kilometers of trails for trekking lovers, the calm Jordan Pond that reflects the clouds above, and the carriage roads, winding stone paths built through the forest by the Rockefeller family. In autumn, Acadia shines brightly in the red, yellow, and orange colors of maple leaves, making visitors feel like they are walking inside a vivid painting. The largest city in Maine, Portland, is where the past and the present blend in every rhythm of life. The city center, the old Port District, still keeps its old charm with cobblestone streets, red brick buildings, small coffee shops, and seafood restaurants filled with delicious smells. The Portland Harbor was once a busy trade center of New England, and today it still carries the salty breath of the sea. The most iconic destination is the Portland Headlight in Cape Elizabeth, the oldest lighthouse in Maine, built in 1791. Even after centuries, it still stands tall, shining over the ocean and inspiring many photographers and painters. In addition, Portland is also a food paradise, where you can enjoy the famous lobster roll or sit by the harbor with a cup of coffee, listening to the waves and the seagulls in a peaceful atmosphere. A few hours' drive from Portland, Bar Harbor is a small town located right on the edge of Acadia National Park, known as the gateway to Maine's wild nature. This place was once a favorite vacation spot for America's upper class in the 19th century. Today, Bar Harbor still keeps its classic and peaceful charm. The small tree-lined streets, souvenir shops, seafood restaurants, and cozy cafes create a friendly and welcoming atmosphere. Visitors can take a boat trip to watch whales, explore Frenchman Bay, or enjoy the sunset at the harbor, where the sun slowly sinks into the vast sea and sky. In autumn, Bar Harbor is covered in red and golden leaves, reflected on the sparkling water, a beauty that touches the heart. If Portland is the heart of Maine, then Kennebunkport is its gentle soul. This is a famous resort town that has been the summer retreat of many U.S. presidents, especially George H.W. Bush and his family. Although known for its connection to the upper class, Kennebunkport still keeps its rustic and simple charm. The white wooden houses facing the sea, the small harbor with quiet sailboats, and the moss-covered streets create a scene that feels like a fairy tale. Visitors can stroll around Dock Square, visit Walker's Point Estate, the Bush family's vacation home, or swim at Gooch's Beach. In summer, the town becomes lively with seafood festivals, while in winter, it sinks into white snow and sparkling Christmas lights. Camden is one of the most beautiful and romantic towns in the United States, known as where the mountains meet the sea, the place where the mountains touch the ocean. The town lies at the foot of the Camden Hills, with old houses and a harbor full of sailing boats. From the top of Mount Batty, visitors can see the whole view of Camden, the blue sea, pine forests, and small, lovely houses appearing through the mist. In summer, Camden is an ideal destination for boating, sea trips, or camping in the forest. In autumn, when the leaves change color, the whole town turns red and golden, becoming a perfect picture of nature. This is also where the Camden Windjammer Festival takes place, Maine's famous sailing festival. The name Ogunquit in the Abenaki language means beautiful place, and it truly is. Ogunquit is one of the most beautiful seaside towns in New England, famous for its soft white sand, clear blue water, and peaceful scenery. The most special spot here is the Marginal Way, a seaside path about 1.5 kilometers long that curves along the rocky shore, where visitors can walk, watch the sea, and breathe the fresh air. The town is also an art center of Maine, with many galleries, theaters, and summer festivals. Ogunquit has both an artistic spirit and a romantic charm, perfect for anyone who wants a place to rest, create, or simply feel the calm of the sea. Located on Penobscot Bay, Rockland is known as the lobster capital of Maine. Every year, it hosts the Maine Lobster Festival, which attracts tens of thousands of visitors to enjoy the state's signature dish. Fresh lobster cooked in many ways, steamed, grilled, in rolls, or in soup. In addition, the Rockland Breakwater Light, located at the end of a stone pier stretching nearly 1.5 kilometers into the sea, is a very popular spot for visitors to take photos. Located deep inland, Bangor is not only the commercial center of northern Maine, but also the hometown of novelist Stephen King, the master of American horror stories. Visitors coming here can see Stephen King's house, famous for its black iron gate and strange bat shapes, a fascinating spot for literature fans. In addition, Bangor has the beautiful Bangor waterfront along the Penobscot River, where music festivals and cultural events take place all summer long. The culture of Maine carries the true spirit of New England. simple, honest, and close to nature. People here live slowly, love the sea, love the forests, and are proud of their homeland. They are hardworking, friendly, and always ready to help each other, especially during the cold winters. Art, music, and local festivals are also an important part of life here, showing pride in Maine's heritage and nature. In the calm rhythm of life, the strong sense of community and the warmth of people's hearts are what make Maine special. Simple, yet full of life. Maine is not noisy or flashy, but it attracts people with its natural beauty and rare peace. From the whispering pine forests to the deep blue sea, from the old lighthouses to the kind and gentle people, everything blends into a soft symphony of the northeastern land. Maine is a place to find a slower rhythm of life, to breathe fresh air, and to feel the pure simplicity of America. A land that everyone who visits will always remember. Virginia, the state in the southeast of the United States, often called by the proud name Old Dominion, has long become a special symbol in the history and culture of America. This is a land that is both old and modern, both connected with the first stories of the country and also full of the lively rhythm of today. From the first days when the Europeans came to Jamestown in 1607, Virginia became the place that keeps the steps of the beginning on the way to build the nation that is now one of the strongest in the world. And until today, this state still has a strong attraction, both because of its great past and because of its many kinds of nature and its culture that is very American. The geography of Virginia makes this place a special land. The state borders Maryland and the capital Washington, D.C. in the north, West Virginia and Kentucky in the west, Tennessee and North Carolina in the south, while the east stretches along the Atlantic Ocean and the Chesapeake Bay. This position gives Virginia a rich look. The great Appalachian Mountains, the fertile Shenandoah Valley, the green rolling hills of the Piedmont region, and also the white sand beaches and the rich ecosystem around Chesapeake Bay. The climate here is also different in each area, giving to people and visitors many experiences. The cold but poetic winter in the mountains, the cool summer in the valleys, or the warm and pleasant air in the coastal area. Coming to Virginia, the journey of discovery will take visitors through many famous places, each with its own attractive story. First of all, it must be said about Jamestown Settlement, the first English settlement in North America, built in 1607. Today, this place has become an outdoor living museum, showing again the life of the 17th century with old sailing ships, wooden forts, and people in traditional clothes, making visitors feel like going back in time to the age of exploring the New World. Not far from there is Colonial Williamsburg, a historic city that has been rebuilt, where every street, house, court, or church still has the style of the old colony. The artists who act as craftsmen, soldiers, or nobles of the 18th century make a lively picture, helping visitors feel like they are inside a history movie. Leaving the colonial picture, the journey takes us to Monticello, the splendid home of Thomas Jefferson. Lying on the top of a green hill, Monticello is not only the house of one of the greatest presidents, but also an architectural masterpiece that UNESCO has recognized as a World Heritage Site. Every room and garden here shows the ideas of enlightenment and the love of art of Jefferson. By the Potomac River, Mount Vernon, the estate of George Washington, gives a feeling more simple and close. The old house, the wine cellar, the green gardens, and the daily life stories of Washington help visitors understand more about the man behind the name Father of the Nation. For those who love nature, Virginia is a true paradise. Shenandoah National Park, lying in the Appalachian Mountains, is a place that cannot be missed, with more than 200,000 acres of forest, waterfalls, and many kinds of wild animals. The Skyline Drive, almost 170 kilometers long, runs through the park and opens wonderful views, especially in autumn when the leaves change color and the whole space shines brightly. After that comes the Blue Ridge Parkway, the road called the most beautiful in America, going along the deep green mountains. Driving on this road of hundreds of kilometers, visitors can feel the greatness of nature in every turn, every ray of sunshine, and every mountain slope covered in mist. Different from the mountain space, Virginia Beach opens a lively world of the sea. This busy seaside city is famous for its endless sandy beach, gentle waves, and many water sports. In summer, the place is full of music festivals, parades, and seafood parties on the lively boardwalk. Meanwhile, the Chesapeake Bay has a quieter and more poetic beauty. This is the biggest bay in America, with a rich ecosystem, peaceful fishing villages, and crab and oyster feasts that have become a food symbol. If Virginia Beach brings liveliness, then Arlington National Cemetery is a quiet and thoughtful stop. Lying in the north of Virginia, Arlington National Cemetery is the resting place of hundreds of thousands of soldiers and many historic people, including President John F. Kennedy. The straight white graves stretching along the hillside create a solemn view that touches the heart. Visitors often stop to watch the guard change at the tomb of the unknown soldier, a sacred ceremony that raises deep respect. Besides historical heritage and man-made works, Virginia also has unique natural wonders like Natural Bridge, a limestone bridge more than 60 meters high, once considered one of the wonders of the Old World. George Washington once measured this place, and Thomas Jefferson bought it to protect it. Today, Natural Bridge still amazes visitors with its magnificent beauty given by nature. In addition, the Luray Cavern system is also an impressive destination with sparkling limestone columns, creating a mysterious world underground. Virginia also delights people with its very own special things. This is the place that nurtured Appalachian folk music, the origin of the enchanting bluegrass tunes. It is one of the fastest-growing wine-producing regions in America, with green vineyards stretching over the Piedmont Hills, producing bottles of Cabernet Franc and Viognier that captivate the heart. It is also the state with the tourism slogan, "Virginia is for lovers," a simple and romantic phrase that has become one of the most successful promotional messages in the history of American tourism. The people of Virginia help complete that picture. They are proud of their homeland, value history, but also look toward the future. The diversity of residents, from European, African, Asian to Latin Americans, makes life here lively and multicultural. But no matter where they come from, the people of Virginia still keep a polite, friendly manner, and always welcome guests with sincere smiles. When leaving Virginia, every visitor often keeps a very special feeling in their heart, both as if they have touched the past and as if they are living in a present full of life. This is a land of stories, from the story of the founding of the nation, the stories of presidents, to the stories of forests, beaches, and even foods connected to memories. Virginia is not as noisy as New York, not as free-spirited as California, but it has a deep identity, a lasting attraction that is hard to fade. And this is what makes Virginia an essential destination on the journey to explore America. A place where you can find love, pride, and unforgettable experiences. Arkansas, the rough gem of America, is one of the states with the most natural and simple beauty in the United States. Located in the south-central part of the country, Arkansas is called the natural state because it is full of forests, mountains, rivers, lakes, hot springs, and wild landscapes that are very attractive. Among modern cities, Arkansas still keeps its peaceful, simple, and classic Southern character. This is the land where people and nature live together in harmony, where visitors can find peace, calmness, and the most honest feelings. The state of Arkansas has a special location because it borders 6 other states: Missouri to the north, Tennessee and Mississippi to the east, Louisiana to the south, and Texas and Oklahoma to the west. With an area of more than 137,000 square kilometers, Arkansas has a diverse landscape, from the majestic mountains in the west and north to the fertile plains along the Mississippi River in the east. The 2 main mountain ranges, Ozark and Ouaddatta, give the state its unique natural scenery and a mild climate, which is perfect for outdoor activities all year round. The Arkansas River, a large river that flows through the center of the state, together with thousands of lakes and small streams, makes this place a paradise for nature lovers who enjoy fishing, boating, or hiking. When visiting Arkansas, travelers will be fascinated by many beautiful places. The most famous one is Hot Springs National Park, one of the oldest national parks in the United States, located in the city of Hot Springs. This place is well known for its natural hot springs that were used by native people hundreds of years ago. The Bathhouse Row area, with its old European-style bathhouses from the 19th century, is still in use today, offering a relaxing and classic experience. In the warm steam, you can feel the connection between humans and nature, something that makes Hot Springs the most special destination in the southern United States. In the north of the state lies the Ozark Mountains, a paradise for adventure lovers. Here you can find the Buffalo National River, the first river in the United States to be recognized as a national wild and scenic river. The clear blue water winds between high cliffs and thick forests, creating a spectacular view. Visitors can go kayaking, mountain climbing, camping, or simply sit quietly and watch the sunrise over the water. If you love nature, the Ozark Mountains will make your heart beat faster every time you breathe in the fresh mountain air. Little Rock, the capital of Arkansas, has a different kind of beauty, a mix of modernity, history, and culture. This is where the historic event Little Rock 9 took place in 1957, marking an important turning point in the American Civil Rights Movement. Today, visitors can visit Little Rock Central High School, now a National Historic Site, and the William J. Clinton Presidential Library, which keeps many valuable documents about the life of the 42nd President of the United States. Little Rock is not only rich in history, but also attractive for its tree-lined streets along the Arkansas River, its restaurants, cafes, museums, and vibrant art spaces. One of the most unique places in the world is located in Arkansas, the Crater of Diamonds State Park, near the town of Murfreesboro. This is the only natural diamond mine in the world that is open to the public for digging. You can bring your own shovel and sifter, and if you are lucky, you might find a real diamond. And the best part is, you are allowed to keep it as a souvenir. Many visitors have discovered valuable diamonds here, making this place an exciting destination that you should not miss. Hidden deep in the Ozark Mountains is the town of Eureka Springs, known as the fairy tale town in the forest. Its winding stone-paved streets, colorful Victorian houses, and peaceful atmosphere make it feel completely separated from the outside world. Standing out among the trees is Thorn Crown Chapel, a glass church praised as one of the most beautiful architectural works in the United States. When sunlight passes through the clear glass and reflects on the green leaves, the scene becomes so magical that it feels almost unreal. If you want to conquer great heights, Mount Magazine, the highest peak in Arkansas, will be the perfect choice. With an elevation of nearly 839 meters, it is an ideal place to admire the magnificent natural scenery, where the sky, clouds, and mountains blend into one. Visitors can go hiking, paragliding, or simply enjoy a dinner at the lodge located on the mountainside. The feeling of standing halfway up the sky, watching the sunset fall over the green forest, is an unforgettable experience. And in the city of Bentonville, the hometown of the giant retail corporation Walmart, there is a cultural gem called the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. This museum is not only a place that displays masterpieces of American art, but also an architectural wonder set among lakes and trees. With its soft, curved design and glass walls that reflect natural light, it stands as a symbol of the harmony between art and nature. Arkansas also surprises visitors with many interesting things that can only be found here. It is the only state in the United States with a natural diamond mine open to the public, has more than 600,000 hectares of national forests, and thousands of lakes, rivers, and streams. It is also the home of Walmart, the largest retail corporation in the world, and of Bill Clinton, a beloved president. In addition, Arkansas has a magnificent system of underground caves such as Blanchard Springs Caverns, where visitors can explore the sparkling underground world of limestone and stalactites. The culture of Arkansas reflects the true spirit of the American South: warm, sincere, and full of music. Music is the soul of the people here, from the gentle sounds of country music to the deep melodies of blues. Traditional festivals are held all year round, such as the Arkansas Folk Festival in Mountain View, the King Biscuit Blues Festival in Helena, and the Toadsuck Days Festival in Conway, all filled with music, food, and smiles. Visual arts are also growing strongly, with many young artists and unique art spaces appearing in Little Rock, Fayetteville, and Bentonville. Arkansas may not be as glamorous as New York or California, but it has a simple, deep, and honest beauty that is truly special. This is a place where you can watch the sunrise over the Ozark Mountains, relax in ancient hot springs, enjoy BBQ to the sound of country music, and meet people who always smile warmly. Arkansas is not just a destination, it is an experience for the soul, a place that helps you find balance between nature, people, and inner peace. A rough gem of America. The more you explore it, the more it shines. And when you leave, your heart will always carry a bit of the warmth, simplicity, and charm of this land. It is the feeling of breathing fully in fresh air, of standing before wide nature without crowds, and of touching a very real America, simple, wild, and full of depth. These states that are rarely mentioned do not try to impress people, but this quietness makes them special. And sometimes, the most memorable journeys do not take us to places where many people go, but bring us to lands that quietly keep their original beauty through the years.